Hey everyone, welcome to Dave's Bonsai. On today's show, we're going to tackle that. Hey everyone, welcome to Dave's Bonsai. In the sense that I have a branch that splits into two shoots in here, so I'm probably going to cut this thing off right about here this fall. I've taken my knob cutter and I've gotten rid of some of that. So I just put them on the bottom, growing upwards into the bag. We fill it up with trees and then we water as we need to. We try to get rid of those air pockets. Well, we didn't hit 60 degrees today. A lot of wind. The sun has been out. This thing's been drying out a little bit. So this is the tree I got at the nursery last fall for a steal. Well, I think it was a steal. Discount for 30 bucks. Made some cuts to it last fall. I've done a little bit of cutting before I turned on the camera. Turned on the camera. And we're gonna get this thing out of this great big nursery pot and put it into a smaller pot with some bonsai soil. A lot of work ahead of us. Let's start digging. This is one heavy beast of a pot. I think it's gonna take me a good hour just to sift through the soil. So I won't show you all of that, of course, but we will get started. So we have to tip this thing over and see what we got. I don't want to break any branches. I gotta get it out of here. All right, so there we go. We got this thing out of the big pot. I know a lot of the dirt's just gonna fall right off. So we'll do hands first. Get our tools. See what we can do. We still have some remnants of the burlap bag that was around this falling right off. So it's been in here for quite a while. Let's see what we find. So some of this stuff up top, weird, it feels more like clay than dirt. And it's coming apart pretty easily. All the roots are definitely congregated towards the bottom. So we gotta be careful. Pretty good start, but I'll turn off the camera now and we'll join you with a quick edit, but we'll try to get through some of this tree carefully in the next half hour so you don't ruin a lot of roots. Got a pretty big mound of dirt so far. A lot of clay in this tree. A lot of clay in here. Big chunks of clay coming on out. So I am damaging some of the roots on the bottom, but there's quite a few we'll be taking off. But we're making a little bit of progress on this thing. It's maybe about half the size it was moments ago. We're just gonna keep digging and see what we got here. I will point out though right away is we always talk about the nabari of the tree and never knowing what the bottom trunk's gonna look like. And look at this flare here now. It's flaring out there, it's coming out here, it's coming out here. It's just a nice looking trunk. Super excited to see what we can see when we get down deeper. So we gotta keep digging, gotta be careful, gotta be patient. Don't wanna ruin too many roots. So let's get going and we'll check back in a little bit. I've started using the smaller rake that I normally use, not a big garden 3/4 tool. And look, I keep digging down this trunk, and it goes down quite a ways with this taper. We're down a good inch or so here. And all these roots and snarled up in here. I think a lot of these roots were growing down at one point, and then because they're so crowded in there and some of this clay, it just shot up and went in different directions. So I got a lot of below dirt to get rid of. But look at that. Look at all that exposed girth of that Nursery now. Gonna make this super exciting to put in a pot. Now my challenge is I don't have a pot big enough for this tree. I do have a nice big square tray that I got my last junipers out of, and I got that Japanese quince out of, the Toyo Nishika or Nishika. I keep calling it Nishika. I can't break that. But those trays are pretty big, and if I can get this flat enough on the bottom, because right now it's super thick still, a good foot from Nursery here to the bottom is still a good foot. I gotta figure out what this is gonna go into. I don't know if I can. I don't know that I want to bare root this maple. Maples are a variety, Japanese maple here, that I could bare root. Definitely if it was a smaller tree. But this had so much growth in the pot that this is almost like a harvested tree, where I think I'm going to leave some soil, give it some of its first bonsai soil, and then the next repot in a couple of years we'll just get rid of more of this clay dirt. But I want to get rid of as much of it as I can, because I don't think it's going to suit the tree very well, this clay. We got a couple of big roots, a good 6 inches down here, that we might be needing to just pluck away. There's a lot going on. And so we keep plugging away. One of the beauties of working outside today, this is my first day working outside. No jacket on. The sun is starting to shine. But I also don't want these roots to dry out. Oh, don't want to do that. Break a branch. Yeah. Lost a tip there. Gotta be careful. So I've been cranking at this thing for probably half an hour, 45 minutes. And we're getting some good progress. I'm over 2/3 done, I think. I still got some clay chunks deep within here. And if you notice right here, my dog's out, neighbor dog's out as well. I got some thick roots right here. This big chunk coming down here. Again, we're still a good 6 to 8 inches below the Nursery section here. I don't know if I have a deep enough pot for that. Since the dog's barking, I'll keep plugging away, and we'll join a little later. Getting super close. The bottom here, I've made one cut with the saw right here and here, because these were just too thick, and you have to be careful when you use a saw. I've cut off too many roots in the past, but as you can see, I still have plenty of root structure here, and I got a lot of them growing from different areas. So we're super close. Oop, I just broke one there off by leaning it. Yeah, it's this guy over here. This guy right here. So that was a big one. I didn't want to break him if I could avoid it. But he didn't have much hanging off there. He'll grow more. There's other feeder roots coming off this one, so I should be okay. And that should be below the soil line. So I got a little more gunk in the middle there. I'm not so worried about that. What I'm worried about is the height, to get this into a pot that won't stick out too much. I think that square, big square pot that I was thinking about, that kind of that tray pot, it's probably about 12 inches by 12 inches, is going to be only covering up to here though, I think. So I have to be careful and maybe cut this up just a little bit more. So what I'm doing here is laying this down, and we're just going to cut, make it a little bit shallower. I can't. Okay, we're back in the garage. Bit of a quagmire. My pot is not big enough. This guy right here is not big enough. If it was twice as deep, I'd put it in here. Right now it fits really well in there, really nice size, but it's not deep enough. So what I have to do is I have to build either some walls around here and make this a tray inside a deeper pot, which I think I'll try to do, or I just make some new pot out of scrap wood. So now I have to get creative, and I have to do it relatively fast. Even though I've sprayed the roots, I got to create a pot here to put this thing in and put it back in a cold frame, leave it in my garage so it doesn't get damaged. So I got to get to town and create a box real quick. Here we go. I got this nice little 2x4 frame, and my pot fits right in there. So as I lift up the tree, so it's too big, right? This only comes up so high. So I need the pot to come about more like this high. So I'm gonna put some boards on each side of here that will then hold all the soil in, and we'll make this homemade pot. Now I just happened to be over at my stepfather's place and found some old shelving boards that are not being used, that are almost the perfect shape to come. Let me put this so you can see it. Sorry about that. Right there. We'll go like that. And then this comes right up to here on the tree. Absolutely perfect. I don't have to make any cuts except for the length, and we're good to go. Let's make some cuts and get this thing going. So here we have the box with two of the sides on. I made sure I left a little gap here so it could sit off the ground. That'll be the same here. And we'll put this side up here. And then I'm going to put a center bar like this right there, so that'll hold the basket in, and then it'll have drain holes on both sides, and the center will hold it from falling through the middle. So we're getting close. I got to put these two sides on, and we have ourselves a box. I think it's time for some dinner. Gonna rethink this a little bit, spray down the roots of the tree, and we'll get back at it in a little bit. All right, here we go. So we didn't make this for beauty, to make it pretty. We made it speedy to work. So there's my first frame down there, and there's the center beam down below. My tray fits right in there, nice and snug. So there's cracks back in here, so soil's gonna fall all in there a little bit. I could stuff it with some smaller pieces of wood perhaps to not waste some soil. And then the tree will go in there like so. There we go. Now, these are a little higher because down below I made this so it would sit off the ground to match the center piece back there. I'm also going to have to drill holes right in here. I'm going to drill a hole through there so my wire can come around this piece of wood up through the grate and hold this monster in. This grate is not going to be powerful enough without breaking to hold that tree in, so I had to have some wood support. So what I'll do is I'll drill some holes in this right here. I might even be able to drill holes here real close to the top up here and wire it in a couple places like that too, just so we have it secure. And again, this pot, temporary, in 2 years, hopefully between now and then, I will have a really nice big bonsai pot made of some good pottery, and it'll be worth this big beast. Now as you stand back and look at this bonsai, it's still way too big. So my big decision, I left this branch on for a reason, because I could use this in the future. Got this beautiful now wide nabari down here, and then it comes up here, and then it's got all the division up here. So for this year, I'm just gonna let it grow. I just wanna let it grow, but at some point, well, I'm hoping I'm going to get some back budding in here. Like this one back bud last year. All last year this one popped up and grew in the nursery. I'm hoping I get more of those throughout the tree up here. But regardless, I should be able to chop this tree right here. I can just chop it right off and we'll get new growth coming out of the top. That's a big bold move after just getting it in this big transplant. So I'm going to let the buds that are up there open up, let this thing grow and just be really healthy hopefully this year. And yeah, hopefully have a nice big maple that we can keep refining and refining. So I got to put some wire in and I have to put some sheetrock tape in there to prevent from all the rocks going through. Let me do that for you and then we'll give you an update in just a moment. Okay, I got a whole bunch of wires on both sides. I got a couple that were more in the center and a couple on the sides. I'm putting my largest bonsai soil. I put that in the bottom. That was bigger than the mesh, so I didn't need to use any of the sheetrock tape. I got it in there. This is going to come right about to here. I'm going to be mounting some soil a little bit. I wish these would have been a little bit higher. But oh well, we will make it work. Time to tie it in and put some more soil in. Whoa, there it is, the beast. Of course, the big problem with this is I'm not going to be able to lift it by myself. I'm going to have to get my son over here. So, there we go. There's that gnarly bottom of that trunk. We'll be digging more of that out in the next coming 2 years from now. We'll see how much more we can clear out, but for right now, we have got it in there. Got some water dripping through. We'll see what happens with this branch over time, but we want that to grow. It's a little in the front right now, but you know, it'll grow. And hopefully we get all kinds of back budding in there so we can feel more comfortable when we give this thing a chop next time. But now we're just going to leave it in the garage. My big cold frame, because it should stay above freezing for the rest of the winter here. And as buds start to shoot, we'll just make sure it's protected and then we'll go find a place in the garden to put this beast. So there you have it, Dave's Bonsai, another edition of craziness. This was just all over the place. This took over 2 hours at least to get through all that clay. We've got it in the pot now though, and we just have to wait and see what it's going to do this spring. So super fun project. I didn't have a big enough pot. I got to get some more pots. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. For Dave's Bonsai, I'm Dave Weiss, and thanks for watching, and I can't wait to do the next one. Welcome to Dave's Bonsai. In the sense that I have a branch that splits into two shoots in here, so I'm probably going to cut this thing off right about here this fall. I've taken my knob cutter and I've gotten rid of some of that. So I just put them on the bottom, growing upwards into the bag. We fill it up with trees and then we water as we need to.